Hi, I'm Lydia. 23 years old now, living 2 states away from where I grew up, and I still can't handle the sound of rain hitting windows. My therapist says that's normal, considering what happened. Lydia, honey, you want some coffee? My roommate Jenna asked, poking her head into my room. Yeah, that'd be great, I said, closing my laptop. I'd been staring at my mother's Facebook page again, watching her post pictures of herself at brunches, smiling like she was Mother of the Year. Jenna sat on my bed, handing me a mug. You're doing it again, aren't you? Looking at her page? I can't help it. She's out there living her best life and nobody knows what she did. So tell someone. You've been holding this in for 5 years since you left home. Who's going to believe me? She's so good at pretending everything's perfect. Your brother would back you up, wouldn't he? I shook my head. Marcus was the golden child. He never got the same treatment. What do you mean, same treatment? Lydia, you've never actually told me the details. I took a deep breath. When I was a kid, maybe 6 or 7, she started making me stand outside. In the rain, in the snow, in storms, sometimes for hours. What? Why would she? She told me once, when she was drunk, that she never wanted me, that I ruined her life by being born. Marcus was planned. I wasn't. Jenna's face went pale. That's child abuse, Lydia. I know that now, but back then I thought it was normal. She convinced me I deserved it. How long did this go on? Until I was 16. Then I moved in with my aunt temporarily, saved up, and got out at 18. Jenna set down her coffee. You need to talk to Marcus. He had to have known something was wrong. I pulled out my phone and stared at his contact. We hadn't spoken in 2 years. The phone rang 3 times before he picked up. Lydia, is everything okay? Hey, Marcus, I need to ask you something, and I need you to be honest. Sure, what's up? Did you know what Mom did to me? The standing outside thing? There was a long pause. I knew something was happening. I saw you out there sometimes. My chest tightened. And you never said anything? I was a kid too, Lydia. I was scared. Mom had this way of making you think if you questioned her, you'd be next. Did she ever make you stand outside? Never. Not once. It was only ever you. Why? Marcus sighed heavily. She told me once that you reminded her of her biggest mistake. She got pregnant with you when she wasn't ready, and Dad left because of it. She blamed you for everything. So you knew, and you just let it happen? I was 10 years old when it started, Lydia. What was I supposed to do? Something. Anything. Do you know what it's like to stand in a blizzard for 3 hours because your mother can't stand the sight of you? Lydia, I'm sorry. I don't want sorry. I want to know if you'll tell the truth about what you saw. Tell who? This was years ago. Anyone who'll listen. I'm done letting her pretend she's some perfect parent. She's changed, Lydia. She's in therapy now. She hasn't changed. She's just gotten better at hiding who she really is. Will you help me or not? Another long pause. What exactly are you planning? I'm planning to make sure everyone knows the truth, I said into the phone. Marcus groaned. Lydia, just let it go. Move on with your life. That's easy for you to say. You weren't the one standing barefoot in January with ice forming in your hair. I said I was sorry. Sorry doesn't cut it, Marcus. I need to know. Will you tell people what you witnessed, or are you going to protect her? I'll think about it, he said quietly before hanging up. Jenna looked at me expectantly. Well? He's being a coward, but he admitted he knew. I stood up, pacing. I need to find other people who saw what happened. Neighbors, teachers, someone. Didn't you say there was a neighbor who used to give you hot chocolate? Mrs. Patterson. She lived next door my whole childhood. I pulled up Facebook again. Here she is, still living in the same house. I sent her a message, and within an hour, she responded with her phone number. Lydia, oh my goodness! I've thought about you so many times over the years, Mrs. Patterson said when I called. Hi, Mrs. Patterson. I'm reaching out because I need to ask you about something that happened when I was young. Of course, dear. What is it? You used to see me standing outside, right? In bad weather? She was quiet for a moment. Yes, I did. It always troubled me terribly. Did you ever wonder why I was out there? I asked your mother about it once. She said you were being punished for misbehaving, that you'd insisted on staying outside even when she called you in. That's a lie, Mrs. Patterson. She forced me to stay out there, sometimes for hours, in storms, in freezing temperatures. Oh, Lydia, her voice cracked. I suspected something wasn't right, but I didn't want to interfere. Did you ever see her actually lock me out, or hear her yelling at me? Yes. Once I heard her screaming at you through the window, something about how she wished you'd never been born. I told my husband we should call someone, but he said it wasn't our business. Would you be willing to tell someone officially what you saw and heard? Who would I tell? I'm building a case. Documentation. I want to report this to the authorities. But Lydia, this was so long ago. What can they do now? I don't know yet, but I need people to know the truth. Will you help me? Mrs. Patterson hesitated. Your mother still lives in the neighborhood. I see her at the grocery store. This would make things very awkward. She made a child stand outside in blizzards, Mrs. Patterson. Awkward doesn't even begin to cover what she deserves. You're right. Yes, I'll help you. I should have done something years ago. After hanging up, I called my old middle school. The counselor I'd spoken to, Miss Rodriguez, still worked there. Lydia Thompson? I remember you, Miss Rodriguez said. You were always so quiet, so withdrawn. I need to ask you something. Did I ever tell you about what was happening at home? You mentioned having to stay outside sometimes. I asked if everything was okay, and you said your mom was just strict. I made a note in your file to keep monitoring, but you never brought it up again. My mother used to force me to stand outside in freezing weather as punishment, for hours. I was too scared to tell anyone the full truth. Miss Rodriguez gasped. Lydia, that's exposure to the elements. That's absolutely abuse. Why didn't you? I was a kid. I thought I deserved it. She told me I ruined her life, and I believed her. Do you still have any medical records from that time? Hospital visits for frostbite, hypothermia? I never went to the hospital. She'd bring me inside just before it got that bad. She knew exactly how far she could push it. But surely someone else knew. Teachers, neighbors. They knew I was outside. They didn't know I wasn't allowed to come in. She lied to everyone. What can I do to help? Write down everything you remember about our conversations, everything I told you, how I acted, anything that seemed off. I can do that. Lydia, I'm so sorry I didn't push harder back then. You couldn't have known. She's very good at manipulating people. I made 5 more calls that day, to teachers, to my old doctor, to anyone who might remember something. Each conversation added another piece to the puzzle. That evening, Jenna sat beside me as I organized everything. You're really doing this. I'm really doing this. She doesn't get to just walk away from what she did. I drove 8 hours back to my hometown, my hands gripping the steering wheel. Jenna came with me for support. You sure you want to just show up? Jenna asked. If I call ahead, she'll prepare. I want her caught off guard. When I knocked on the door, my mother answered with a dish towel in her hands. Her face went from confusion to forced smile in seconds. Lydia, what a surprise. Why didn't you tell me you were coming? Can I come in? Of course. She stepped aside, eyeing Jenna suspiciously. Who's your friend? This is Jenna. She's here to witness our conversation. My mother's smile faltered. Witness? That's an odd word choice. We sat in the living room where she used to sit in warmth while I stood outside in the cold, visible through the window. I've been talking to people, Mom. Mrs. Patterson, Miss Rodriguez, even Marcus. Her face went pale. Talking about what? About how you used to force me to stand outside in storms. About how you told me I ruined your life. About how you locked me out in freezing temperatures for hours. That's not... I never... You were a difficult child, Lydia. Sometimes discipline is necessary. Discipline? You left me outside in a blizzard when I was 8 years old for 3 hours. My fingers turned blue. You're exaggerating. It was never that bad. Mrs. Patterson saw it. She heard you screaming that you wished I'd never been born. My mother stood up abruptly. That woman doesn't know what she's talking about. She's old, confused. She's not confused, and neither are the 5 other people I've talked to who remember seeing me outside. They don't understand. You don't understand. I was under so much stress your father had just left. So you took it out on a child? Your child? I was doing my best. Your best was making a 6-year-old stand in the rain until she was shaking so hard she couldn't walk straight? My mother's face crumpled. I've changed, Lydia. I'm in therapy now. I've worked on myself. Good for you. That doesn't undo what you did to me. I know I made mistakes. Mistakes? You systematically abused me for 10 years. Don't use that word. I never hit you. You exposed me to the elements on purpose, knowing I could get hypothermia or frostbite. That's abuse, Mom. That's criminal abuse. She sank back down, her voice becoming smaller. Lydia, please. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. I was in a bad place and I took it out on you. Can't we just move past this? No. What do you mean, no? I mean, I don't forgive you. I'm not moving past this. I'm making sure everyone knows what you did. Why are you doing this? To hurt me? Because you hurt me. For years. And you never faced any consequences. I said I'm sorry. What more do you want? Sorry doesn't fix what you broke. Sorry doesn't give me back my childhood. Sorry doesn't make the nightmares stop. My mother stood again, her face hardening. You were always so ungrateful. I kept a roof over your head. I fed you. I clothed you. And then you made me stand outside in blizzards. That negates any claim to being a good parent. Get out of my house. Gladly. But this isn't over. If you try to drag my name through the mud, I'll sue you for defamation. Truth is a defense against defamation, Mom, and I have witnesses. She stepped toward me, her finger pointing at my face. You think anyone will care about something that happened years ago? You're nothing, Lydia. You've always been nothing. Jenna stood up. Okay, we're leaving now. As we reached the door, my mother grabbed my arm hard. If you do this, you'll regret it. I'll make sure of it. I pulled away. Is that a threat? It's a promise. I called the police the next morning. The officer who took my report was skeptical at first. This happened how long ago? Officer Martinez asked. It started when I was 6 and continued until I was 16. The last incident was 7 years ago. And you're just reporting it now? I didn't understand it was abuse until recently. I thought it was normal punishment. What exactly are you asking us to do? I want it on record. I want an investigation. I have witnesses. Officer Martinez sighed. I'll take your statement, but criminal charges are unlikely given the time that's passed. There are statute of limitations issues. What about Child Protective Services? You're not a child anymore. There are no other children in the home, correct? No, just her. Then there's no one for CPS to protect. We'll document everything. If there are other complaints in the future, this will be on record, and you can pursue civil action. I spent the next week gathering statements. Mrs. Patterson wrote 3 pages detailing what she'd witnessed. Miss Rodriguez provided her notes from my school file. Even Marcus, after much guilt-tripping, sent an email describing what he'd seen. My mother tried calling me 17 times. I didn't answer. Finally, she sent a text. Please, Lydia, can we just talk? I know I wasn't perfect, but I'm trying to make amends. Don't I get a chance to apologize properly? I stared at the message before responding. You had 18 years to be a mother. You chose to be an abuser instead. No, you don't get another chance. She showed up at my apartment 2 weeks later. Jenna answered the door while I stayed in my room. I need to speak to my daughter, my mother said. She doesn't want to talk to you, Jenna replied. This is between family. You need to stay out of it. Lydia's my family now, and you're not welcome here. I heard my mother's voice rise. She's being ridiculous. All of this over some discipline that happened years ago. I'm her mother. I came out of my room. Being a mother is more than giving birth. You were never a mother to me. Lydia, please. No. No more chances. No more apologies. You don't get to feel better about what you did. You have to live with it. the same way I have to live with what you did to me. But I love you. You don't love me. You never did. You told me yourself I ruined your life just by being born. I was angry when I said that. I didn't mean it. You meant it every single time you locked me outside. You meant it every time you watched me shiver through the window. You meant it every single day of my childhood. I can't change the past. Then live with it, because I'm done carrying your guilt for you. Officer Martinez called me a month later. We've completed our investigation. We can't press criminal charges due to the statute of limitations, but everything is documented. Your mother has been warned that any further harassment will result in charges. She's still harassing me? She called the station multiple times, insisting this was all a misunderstanding. We've told her to cease contact. Thank you. Lydia, I want you to know, I believe you. What happened to you was wrong. That evening, Jenna made tea while I sat on the couch, feeling exhausted but lighter somehow. How are you feeling? Jenna asked. Tired, but also free? She doesn't have power over me anymore. Everyone knows the truth now. Your mom posted something on Facebook, a long rant about ungrateful children and cancel culture. Let her. The people who matter know what really happened. Marcus called while you were sleeping. He wants to meet for coffee. What did you tell him? That it's up to you. I thought about it. Maybe, eventually. He was a kid too. But he has to understand that being scared doesn't excuse staying silent. And your mom? She's out of my life for good. No forgiveness, no reconciliation, no second chances. She made her choices, and now she lives with the consequences. Jenna smiled. Good for you. Yeah, I said, looking out the window at the rain. For the first time in my life, I didn't flinch at the sound. Good for me. Have you ever had to choose between forgiving someone who hurt you or holding them accountable? What would you do in Lydia's situation? Let me know in the comments. If this story resonated with you, please like, share, and subscribe for more true stories about overcoming abuse and finding justice.